Hey guys, it's DeAna from Far From Homesteading, and today I was on the internet just kind of chilling out, doing some research, and I was checking out some of the food shortages to expect in 2022. Some of them absolutely just blew my mind. Some of them I totally expected, just kind of as a trend from the past couple years. But I wrote them down and I wanted to share with you what items you may see shortages on this coming up here. Check this out. The first item is milk and dairy. Just as the last year has been impacted by labor shortages, it just kind of continues, and it has put a giant strain on the milk and dairy industry. That is going to be more apparent in 2022 according to the Googly Man. According to all the articles I read on Google, okay? Another shortage to expect, just kind of stemming back from last year, is going to be pork and bacon. Oh, I love bacon. Man, I love bacon. They say prices are rising because rising food prices for the animals, consumer demand is rising, and supply chain issues. Now, other articles I've read just totally blamed it on labor shortages because of the pandemic. I read several different things that may have caused a future food shortage as far as pork goes, but we are already seeing shortages now. It's no surprise to me that pork would be on this list. Another thing that is on the list, although they gave very vague reasons as to why, is salmon. Most of the reasons I saw were because of climate change and different environmental factors, like wildfires and things like that. Another thing that you're going to want to stock up on now, I have talked about before, and that is aluminum. The price of aluminum was supposed to have gone up like 56% in January. I have not been to the store to see if it reflects that price increase. I would not be surprised that it doesn't become quite apparent soon that the price has gone up on aluminum. According to most of the things that I read on the internet, it is because it's a supply problem. Apparently the demand went up during the quarantine. More people used aluminum foil. Okay, I'm just telling you what they're telling me. And that is one of the things that has led to the aluminum shortage. I think that it has more to do with where we get our aluminum from, and if you do not know where we get our aluminum from, check that out. Google that, check that out, and then you'll know what I mean by it probably isn't because more people used aluminum during the pandemic. And that's all I'm going to say. Do your own research. Another thing that they say is going to be harder to come by in 2022 is poultry. I don't doubt that if the last 2 years have shown you at all. I mean, 2 years ago, we were having a poultry shortage and they were blaming it on pandemic lockdowns. 2 years later, here we are, and the latest news story that I read blamed the poultry shortage for 2022 on, I wrote it down, pandemic-related shutdowns. So apparently, we are still experiencing issues from 2 years ago and cannot get them resolved. I would like to suggest that if you have ever thought about buying meat chickens and butchering your own meat chickens, that 2022 be the year that you do that for the first time. I have never processed my own meat chickens. I have always wanted to, and I really feel like this is the motivation that I need to get that done. Also, with that in mind, keep in mind that if more people are ordering meat chickens to butcher at home, that's going to make getting those chickens harder to get. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely put your orders in for those chickens early, because the demand, I think the supply may not be adequate for the demand this year. So keep that in mind. Meat chickens are I feel like I feel like I didn't read this anywhere, but I feel like meat chickens, because of the chicken shortages, more people are going to want to raise their own to butcher out, and I think they're going to be harder to find. Another shortage that you can expect in 2022 is going to be pasta, corn, and wheat. According to the labor unions, the reason for these shortages are climate change is endangering the pasta market and causing shortages. So stock up on your pasta and your corn and your wheat now, because climate change may prevent you from doing that in the future. And I want to add in at this point that if you like canned corn and there's going to be an aluminum shortage and a corn shortage, perhaps you should put canned corn up on the top of your list and get it first. Another shortage that you can expect is on pet food. I was absolutely shocked when I read about this. Not because there's a pet food shortage, but for the reason that there's a pet food shortage, or the reason that they're giving us. Everything that I read, and this is what it said: there's a pet food shortage because more than 12 million people adopted pets during the pandemic quarantine to help with the anxiety of being locked down. Okay? So, the reason that there are pet food shortages is because the demand increased substantially and the supply is not going to be able to keep up. That is their prediction for 2022. I was surprised. 12 million adopted pets. That absolutely makes me happy, but is that the only reason that there's a pet food supply problem? Comment down below what you think the reasons for having pet food supply issues are, and I would be interested to hear what your thoughts are. The next two are kind of similar. I'm going to talk about them together. The first one is craft beers. And the reasoning behind this I thought was quite interesting. Apparently during the COVID lockdowns, more people were at home drinking craft beer and pursuing a craft beer hobby. Apparently it increased so substantially that there's going to be severe supply chain issues as far as not only the CO2 to brew the beer, but also the bottles, the caps, the labeling, everything that comes with making and packaging the beer is also going to be in short supply in 2022. They just said that the demand skyrocketed and totally surpassed what the supply was, and that this is going to be a big problem in 2022. Liquor is also on the list of things that might be harder to find in 2022, and it is for this same reason. Apparently, the COVID lockdowns just made everybody want to drink a ton of alcohol, and the supply just exasperated the demand. They could not keep up, and some companies are seeing a lot of issues keeping up with the supply. There have been states that have already set limits. Pennsylvania, in fact, has a 2 bottle of liquor limit a day. I know that probably seems like a lot. I don't know probably who needs that much, but if you do tinctures or things like that, or make vanilla, that might be something that would affect you. I mean, those are the things I use alcohol for. I don't really drink, but I do buy alcohol to do certain things with, and we might be seeing shortages on that pretty soon. So if that is something that you use on your homestead or just however, keep that in mind. And the last one is not something that affects me at all. I don't use it at all, but I know that there are some people that really do enjoy it, and that is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has said that they are experiencing supply chain issues that may create some serious problems in 2022. So if you drink Coke, keep that in mind. If you drink it in a can, maybe stock up on that, because like I said, you got 2 things that are going to be harder to come by. Maybe you should put those first on your list. I hope you found this list helpful. If any of it just kind of blew your mind like it did mine, comment down below and tell me what you thought. If you have anything to add, I'd love to hear it. Until next time, guys.